Welcome to Could You Not? Editing Arturo. Clear some confusion maybe? There's a story I tell in the video about me bashing my face on cement so I can call in sick. That and the footage you're gonna see of my face all fucked up are two separate things. The footage you see that my face is all fucked up, and I'll put it right here, I hope. That footage is from me when I died 2 years ago. I just want to clear that up. Enjoy the video. This is where I make cooking video every time I add time on to my sobriety. I just realized that it is very morbid if you don't see a video next year. But you will. Usually in these videos I show a lot of the cooking because there's usually more to do, but this year we're doing prime rib, and honestly it's super easy stuff. Step 1, salt and pepper that bad bitch. Step 2, leave it overnight on like some kind of baking dish, whatever you have, just leave it in there with a false bottom, and you want the ribs down. And then after that, we just wait. Take it out and leave it out to get to room temperature. Then, this is the fun part. You gotta cut rosemary, cut thyme, get minced garlic, grainy mustard, mix it all together, and rub that bad bitch down. Why do I keep calling the meat a bad bitch? Rub that bad bitch down. Step 4, you're gonna take your roast in at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Or, you know what, I was gonna convert these for you to help you guys, but you wanna roast your prime rib until it gets to 110 Fahrenheit. Or 43 Celsius. After that's done and it's got to 110, the internal temperature, take it out, let it rest. Put your oven up to high. After your oven has got to the high temperature, put your roast back in and then pop it in for maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. The trick is to get your roast to sit at 130 degrees. I'm cooking for medium rare, by the way. I should have said that in the beginning, sorry. I'm cooking for medium rare. So medium rare, that's 130 to 140 degrees. So your roast should just get to 130, let it rest again, and then it'll go to a perfect 134. I just want to do a PSA. I got this recipe from another YouTuber. Put the link in the description wherever the fuck I put it. He goes through the actual method and he does a better job at explaining things. I'm just showing you a very good bullet point of how to do it and what I did. When you go to a butcher or a grocery store, butcher, whatever you want to do, you just have to say like bones. I don't know if people just know that, because I find that when I'm looking at these videos, a lot of them say like, oh, it's like 300 grams or 600 grams. Just say bones. Just say, I want a 3-bone roast. They'll get it to you. They'll understand what you mean. That will help you to figure out how much meat you want to buy for yourself or for others. A 3-bone roast will feed 4 people. That's like your mom, your dad, your sister, you. The sound wasn't recording. Good thing I checked. Otherwise, you'd be fired. 2 years clean, that's a long time. I'm really good at being sober now, surprisingly. It's crazy to think about, but like once upon a time, it took me a fraction of a second to be on board doing drugs. My addiction, when it was a more dominant force in my life, felt like a shady car salesman. Well, you know, if we get high at 3 p.m. and we start going to bed at 12 a.m. that's 4 hours of sleep before we have to go to work at 5 a.m. What? You didn't go to bed at 12 a.m. and it's 4 a.m. and you have an hour to get to work? You know what we could do, since we're in this situation anyways? We could go outside, bash our face on the cement, say we slipped and fell, and now have a concussion and can't come to work. You know what though? We might as well get another one. Or 2. You can't go to the store to get Tylenol. You're high. But you need something to take the edge off, because you have a concussion. 2 years later, my addiction's like a child, and we're at a grocery store and I'm buying things and I'm doing good and I'm getting like, I don't know, like Pringles or something. And then it starts like yelling and screaming and it starts being like, I want cocaine. And I'm like, no, we're not going to get cocaine, we're going to get Pringles. And then it starts like to really have a temper tantrum and starts screaming and yelling. And then I, the adult, go to it. And as hard as you can slap a child, I hit it across the face. And then I proceed to get 2 cans of Pringles. But I'm here 2 years later and I think my face is very clear. My teeth are all still fucked up, but you know. And I can happily say I don't want to do drugs. Do I want to get high? Abso-fucking-lutely. But over 2 years, I've learned that what I want and what I get are two different things. There's an imbalance in my brain. I am addicted to the feeling of high dopamine. That's how you get high. Cocaine releases a chemical in your brain, and then your brain produces all this dopamine, and then you get high off that feeling. But now, my brain needs that dopamine. It wants it. It craves it. So that's where the cocaine is, and that's where it leads to an addiction. So yes, I want to get high, but I just have to separate and differentiate the two. I want to get high, but I need an outlet to produce the dope. It's usually the last week of every month that when I add on a new time of sobriety, it could be a month, it could be a year, that my brain is just itchy. It feels like I'm on a tightrope and I'm going from one building to another building, and I'm in the middle of it going up, and all my friends screaming that they love me, they care for me, I can do this, I'm so strong. But I'm on the tightrope, right? But all I can hear and think about are the screaming people that are like yelling at me to like, I can do this. It's like, I know I can do this, and I appreciate everyone there, but I need a little bit more silence, it feels like, when I'm on this tightrope. I just need to get across, and then we can celebrate that after I'm like, yeah, I did it, cool, 2 years, there's just gonna be another building, and it's gonna be taller, and I'm gonna have to do that again. But the cool thing is that I found it gets easier because I've already went across the tightrope twice. Now when I go on my third year, and I'm going across that tightrope, I can learn and be stronger because I already did this twice in a row. And that feels good. The word of the day is pressure. That's just a lot of pressure. I've all this stuff now, I'm sober, and now I just have to do it. But what do I do? But I have to remember that I've done better than what anyone wants for me. Everyone who loves me wants me to be happy, and I'm happy when I'm me, and I'm me when I'm sober. So what I have to do is just continue being sober. That's it. If anyone watches this and needs this, there's this cool thing that I've learned over the past 2 years that helps me. It's called HALT, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. HALT, HALT, yeah. HALT. That's it. I know how to spell. That's good. That helps me, like, for example, when I'm feeling like I want to spiral and do drugs, I halt and I stop myself and I ask myself, what do I feel like having right now? Like, what is it? Am I hungry? Yes, I'm always hungry. So I'm like, okay, well, eat something. Do I feel angry still? Do I feel like I want to do drugs? No. 90% of the time when I feel like doing drugs, if I eat something, it goes away. It's fucking insane. I've also been reading these stories from the Big Book, and they talk about how, like, a lot of people, they have a problem with believing in a higher power, like where you basically have to kind of make up a god for yourself and believe in that god and ask it for help. And people think it's like crazy and they just can't wrap their brains around it. But here's the thing that helped me through that. Do you know what's crazier? Fucking up your face on cement because you don't want to go to work, but you want to call in sick. So you tell them you have a concussion, but then you can't go to the store to get Tylenol because you're too high because you got more drugs. So then you get more high because you need to take the edge off because, again, you have a concussion because you smashed your face on cement. That is way crazier than making up a god. 2 years, that's a long time. That's a long time. 2 years, that's a long time. I see myself in the reflection behind this mirror. I am still here. And I'll be here next year. Things will get even better for myself next year. I just have to keep going on this rope. I'm going to be the best tightroper you have ever seen.
yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in. I'll see you next year.